Going? Well, guys, it's November and it's the weather is starting to change. Everyone's talking about winterization and a cold front. Everyone watching the weather says a big cold front's coming in the middle part of America and it's heading east. So I guess it's a wake up call that it's coming and here we are. Winter is not far away. But at any rate, we can think and stand in front of a nice warm radio because they all generate enough heat that it can offset some of those cold temperatures, right? Well, at any rate, welcome, guys. Always good to see you. Um, in terms of announcements, there is not a lot going on because we are at the quiet period, the wind down period of the year. But the only way I can really announce is maybe a couple events in later this month. First of all, the New Jersey Antique Radio Club will have a fall swap meet and hamfest in Parsippany. And Bob, I'm sure you're getting some ready to sell tubes and maybe take on more projects.
Well, we'll
Um,
we'll, we'll see. I don't remember the exact date, but it's toward the end of the month, and
yeah, it's November 22nd.
yeah, 22nd. I couldn't remember, and that's usually a Saturday. It's kind of a quick event. It's about 4 hours of actual swap meet stuff going on, but it's still a nice event. We have usually about an hour to set up, and then usually like the last 15 minutes, we break everything down and then just head on out and fill our cars with everybody else's stuff and then just go home. So you guys know the drill. You have your own kind of stuff going on out there. So it's a lot of fun, and it's really kind of other than there is a ham fest up in North Jersey, which I'm thinking about going to. That which is the Fair Lawn Ham Fest. I forget the date on that, but after that, after November's gone, then it's the holiday season. You get ready for make sure you have gifts for everybody and sharing Christmas and Hanukkah stuff with your families, and it just goes off from there. And then hopefully, toward the end of January, February, it starts picking up again. We just start this vicious cycle of exchanging stuff all over again. So
That's right.
yes.
Yeah, for sure. There's only a handful. There are a couple of events
So
that,
hopefully I'm gonna have enough time to make a video. I'm gonna have somebody. Well, I actually have the vice president of our club, Paul Mondock. He lives close to me and he has problems driving at night, with night vision and stuff. So I just drive him everywhere. He just hops in. I just load up my car full of my stuff and some of his stuff, and we bring it out. We have fun. It's a good time. So hopefully I'll have enough time to make a video and you guys can see it on my Radio Wild channel.
well, that'd be great. That'd be great. Well,
Hopefully.
if anyone is, going to feel like they're going to be in the southern part
By
of,
the way, can I just say one thing real quick?
of course.
I'm looking at Paul Scheib. I'm afraid I don't know you, sir. Is that a silver tone that I see in the background, the radio on the table?
It is a Silvertone 4486.
That is one of the prettiest wooden radios. I love how they present with that big gold dial, and a lot of them had that tuning eye. You're no relation to you don't have a brother named Earl, do you?
Wish I did. A
Okay.
lot of people ask that.
I actually had Earl Scheib paint one of my cars one time, and it was a cheap car, but I wanted it to look better. And he wasn't shy about getting paint on like the bumper and on the window, and
You got a
you
cheap
had
paint
the
job.
Impala logo on the side of my Chevy Impala. He painted right over that.
That's because they
But it
just
looked good from
they
10
just
feet away.
drive them through the booth and they just shoot
Yeah.
it as it's going through.
Hey, it was like $250. What would you expect?
No, it was like 1995,
Oh, geez.
2095.
That's a very pretty radio, Paul. That's a nice one. That's a keeper radio for me if I had that.
Thank you. It's going to my oldest son.
I hope he likes it.
He does. I had to put Bluetooth on it, but yeah, he likes it.
Bob is really saying he is your oldest son.
Yeah.
But
There's a lot of people that want Bluetooth conversions now, and I swallow myself. I don't like doing it, but I'll do it. Because it's their
well,
radio.
you know what? In the name of keeping these things, on people's shelves and operating and not ending up at a dumpster, to me that's, a clean conversion, as clean as you can make it is a reasonable trade-off. Because it is tough, especially a lot of AM only radios where, depending where you are, AM content in some areas is unremarkable. It's very, in Massachusetts, for example, there are a couple of handful of stations, but you have to have a pretty good antenna to pick up some of those. FM is better, but so yeah, and if not that, it's an AM transmitter, which the rest of us can deal with. But people who are low tech don't want to start yet another thing on their bookshelf, whereas Bluetooth is clean and tidy and they understand they can stream music from their iPhone, when they're good to go. So always a trade-off, but it's to me ultimately a reasonable trade-off as long as,
But
hacking
but
up.
you're exactly right, and the thing is, if you don't do it, then what's going to happen with all these pieces that, you know, I don't want to talk doom and gloom, but we're not, we're not going to be here forever.
Right,
And if something ever happened to me, my wife knows what to do with my stuff, or vice versa.
right.
Okay, but if it means just making these things last a lot longer, if it means adding a Bluetooth. Now I have an AK-20. I wouldn't add Bluetooth to that for anybody, but I'm just saying if it AA5, AA6, maybe a nice 40s, beautiful table
Right.
set like Paul has here on his table for his son. Yeah, I could see that. That's well justified. Now maybe help preserve that piece a lot longer.
Yeah, definitely. Um, Are there any other event announcements I might have overlooked that people want to that I might nobody else what was anybody wants to share?
Well, I was just wondering when you're planning on an alternative meeting.
Oh, okay. So next week might be possible. I'm traveling on Wednesday. Thursday might work. It depends. But the reason is it depends is I may have to go in the office, but the tricky is, my flight's I land in Boston a bit late, like just before midnight. And that's assuming all things remain equal. Now, with the shutdown, and I know they were back in September doing runway work at Logan Airport overnight, which because I had to fly on business and I ended up delayed an hour and a half, landed like, I don't know, 1:30 in the morning from Dulles. I don't know what time I'm hitting the ground, so I'm trying to debate what to do about this. Maybe I could do Tuesday, but Tuesday might be a little bit tight. So I'm going to try for Thursday. So, Tom, I'm going to tentatively say, let's shoot for Thursday if people can deal with that. I'm sorry for that. I've been traveling a little bit this past fall, but things will quiet down, once I'm back.
Yeah,
Uh,
just fit it around your schedule. And boy, flying's going to be tricky these days. We don't know which
I,
airports are going to get shut down tomorrow.
Yeah, I just hope that well, that's next Thursday is when I'm coming back. So there's time. So I'm hoping, somebody will come to their senses and actually get something, off the ground before then. But I don't know. I'm not, I'm only feeling at best 50-50 on this one. So we'll see. I'll probably send a message out over the weekend, but I'll probably shoot for Thursday evening is probably what I'll shoot for. And we'll try and make it work. So that's the tentative plan. So I'll send an email out on Sunday.
I'm sort of wondering whether there would be any interest in my doing a run through of an Enigma machine, the wiring of it, and how the thing works electrically.
Hmm.
If people are interested, and that's not
Yeah.
quite antique radio, but
Yeah.
it's also not very high tech. I mean, we're talking electric circuits and electromechanical rather than tubes and transistors.
Yeah, I mean, considering time that you're one of the few people on this pond that know anything about them, this would be a treat at least a treat for me and probably a treat for all of us to see, something unusual, um, by what, a preeminent expert.
Yeah, well, I was just thinking of tracing the voltage through an Enigma and talking about the things that go wrong and how to fix it, but it's not as complicated as tracing a signal through various IF cans and so on. But it might be fun just to see how simple things are. I mean, if you compare the Enigma with a let's say I'd say a Model T Ford, and we're talking. I'm going to take you through a Model T Ford as opposed to a 2025 Toyota Highlander.
Right. Now, will there be a reoming component?
Would that say again?
Will there
Oh,
be a
yeah,
reoming?
reoming. No, I think I'm going to leave my reoming. It's already been done. There is not a single resistor in an Enigma machine. I already took them all out. 20,000 Enigma machines. I took out those resistors and replaced them with wire, straight wire.
No, that'd be terrific, Tom. If I know we would enjoy that.
Okay. I've got one machine that came in, and my son and I rebuilt it. So it might be fun to go through the process of rebuilding an Enigma as opposed to rebuilding a radio. But it might also be real boring for people because we're talking flashlight technology rather than audio amplifiers.
Well, it's vintage electronics, and of course, there's something quite, obviously quite historical about them. So it'd be interesting how the Germans went about it, and hopefully they're clever, in an efficient way. But maybe you'll be able to shed light on that, whether how good a design it was.
It was real good.
Excellent. Yeah, definitely.
Okay, we'll
Um,
fit that in sometime.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Well, don't forget, at the end of December, Santa's got to be thinking about
Oh yeah, right. Let's see. I think I still have that radio too. Maybe I can set it on fire again.
Maybe you can fix that radio with that MIG welding type soldering gun that you
Yeah,
There you
got.
go.
that thing. Oh, that thing is really useful, I tell you.
It
I
shoots
got to use
flames.
it. Yep.
But
Are you? No, are we the only two people in the world that have one of those?
I probably the way we talk about it, it's going to remain that way. I don't see anyone else running out to buy one after what you and I talk about with it, but I have used it though.
Oh, me too. It's really handy when you're shaking, and yeah.
Well, this is going on YouTube, so we could always put a link in the description on where to get one.
There
Is this
you go.
on Amazon?
Right.
It's probably on Temu by now. I don't
Oh,
know.
Timu? Okay.
But I don't know. Mine's out on my workbench, or otherwise I'd show it to you. But
I'm looking around here. I know mine's here somewhere, but the problem with having this much junk around you is you can't find it when you want it, whatever it is.
I think we could all relate to that, Tom.
Yeah, I guess so.
it heats up rather quickly and has a nice sharp point on it, so it's
Yeah,
actually pretty good from that perspective. But
yeah. No complaints. The only complaint I have, and I think you had agreed with me, is that the solder they sell you with it is awful.
yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah, not enough lead in it, and it really doesn't want to melt at all.
yeah,
And if you replace it with a nice thin um, Arizin or Kester solder, it's been very nice.
yeah.
So it's not lead acid, it's acid lead.
Yeah, that's it.
It's like
That brings
it's
up
like
an
those.
interesting point. What's a good flux for soldering to stainless steel? I used to have a bottle of it, and I can't find it, so I gotta buy some more. Every once in a while, you come across something that really does not want to accept solder, like a big aluminum chassis or something like that. And how do you get that solder to blend into it and flow into it? Anybody have tricks up their sleeve?
That's when you take out the Burns-O-Matic. Get that blue cone going. It's like
You can always drill a hole and put a nice brass or copper screw through there with a copper nut, and
yeah.
then assume that that's good connection to the chassis, and then solder to that.
there you go.
But I've had pretty good success with some of these things you pick up at flea markets. The guy's sitting there at a table with a bunch of stuff in front of him, and he's saying, "Watch this! I'll solder this. I'm going to solder this. I'm going to solder this."
I'm gonna fix your
You
aluminum
got to have
screen
one of
door,
those.
and I'm gonna poke a hole in this beer can and solder that hole right up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, that's it.
it makes Julian fries in seconds. It's like
And some of
Uh,
that works, by God. It's amazing.
I at one of my Carlisle vendor car things. I was there was a guy right across the aisle from me, one of those guys. And
Yeah.
by the end of the couple 3 day show, I had his entire spiel memorized. I could go through the whole. That's a $50 bill right there. You just solved this problem there for it would cost you $50 for another aluminum door for your screen door or whatever. Blah 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 blah, and on and on and on. He was hysterical.
Yeah.
It's like
But
those
So-
commercials
it is
from the
useful
80s where
to
they had the
have fun
Vegematic
stuff
and
sometimes.
Slice-O-Matic and all these wonderful gadgets that you have to have. You can't go through life without one.
Yeah.
If I had a fraction of his energy, I would get so much more done. That was amazing.
And you got it. You also have to have the wireless headset, where he's got the thing wrapped around his head and the microphone.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the pretty girl that's handing him the stuff.
Oh yeah,
too.
that's wearing her floaties in case there's a flood.
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely. So I went to a dollar store today, and I'm going through there, and I'm a real sucker for anything. And there was a watt meter for $1.50. So I couldn't resist. I got a dozen of these things, but it was a different design. How can you walk by something like that?
I think we're all
So-
guilty of that. But maybe in different respects. You just like watt meters, other people like who knows what.
Yeah.
AM/FM can openers.
Yeah,
Right. Right.
exactly.
Here, I got to show it to you here. Could you walk away from a thing like that? Could you walk away from a thing like that for $1.50? And look at that. Look at the dial on it. Where's the dial here? And say, yeah, there it is. The dial is on the end. Let me plug it in. I'm going to show you real high-tech stuff here. Okay.
We'll all be running out to the dollar store tomorrow.
Yeah. Look at that. Look at that. Do you believe that?
Wow.
Oh, that's cool.
And outlets all around. Could you have walked away from that for $1.50?
Have they
Wow.
plugged an old radio into it yet?
Maybe it's upside down.
There you
I
go.
love it. I love
Pretty
it.
cool. Pretty cool.
Yeah. Oh, what a sucker I am. Holy mackerel.
I would
So-
buy that before I'd buy a Rubik's Cube.
I buy it before I buy an Enigma, I'll tell you that.
Sure. But so David,
Ridiculous.
are we ready for VRPS?
Let it roll.
All right. So now, do you have a order which you want me to do this? You want to show your contest first, or do you want to just go to the radios first? How would you like to do this?
Yeah, you can do the contest entry first.
Okay, how do I do that? So let me share my screen. Make sure I've got this up and going here and share. Okay, let's see. Let me go. Whoops, I gotta go bring to the okay, that's what I wanted to do. Sorry, guys. So David, tell us about the VRPS event. I mean, your experience and so forth. Of course, you can certainly dive into this as you know.
Yeah, let me just start by saying that this year, I've got all this kind of written down so I'd get it straight. This year, the 51st Vintage Radio and Phonograph Society Convention was moved just north of Dallas to Grapevine, Texas, and was held last weekend, October 24th through October 26th. The theme of this year's convention was Shure Radio, S-H-U-R-E. Now, I know most of you guys have heard of Shure microphones. This was the 100th anniversary of Shure, and I had not heard of it.
And Shure cartridges, needles,
Yeah.
phonograph needles too.
100 years of extraordinary sound. Shure is an audio products corporation headquartered in the United States, founded by Sidney Shure in Chicago, Illinois in 1925 as a supplier of radio parts kits. And this was John, is there a way to?
Oh, let me try spotlighting temporarily. Does that
Yeah,
help? Does
this
people?
is the brochure for the convention.
Yeah, now what I'll do is I'll stop sharing for just a moment. Let me stop sharing and actually have, there you go. That will people see. Ah, okay. The art of sound. That's
Yeah.
cool. So that was the event brochure. Very nice.
The events, uh, what's interesting to me about Shure Products Company is that when we got back from Dallas, we went out to dinner with some friends. And somehow the name Shure came up. And the friend of Sandy's, my wife, said, "Oh, I know exactly what that is. I used to sing 40 plus years ago, and I had a Shure microphone.
Hmm.
And it was like, top of the line kind of microphone. She knew exactly what it was and what the company did." Uh, this picture, this is the contest entries, right, John?
Yeah, well, this is right, right. Yeah.
Okay, so this was my contest entry into the category of where am I? Novelty radios, and I had several bookshelf radios that I had acquired over the many years, and this was my entry into the contest, which won first place in novelty radios, and
Nice.
also won People's Choice. The categories, let me just go through what the radios are. The one on the left is these were the descriptions of the radios. Post World War II, Emerson radio and TV bookshelf radio, history of nations from about 1947. It has the same dial as the Emerson 1947 model 543. Emerson manufactured several of these sets in different colored leatherette coverings. The radio in the middle is a Stuart Warner bookshelf radio R108 current events. It's the one above the right up here on the top.
Oh, okay, right
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
A four tube radio produced in 1932 and sold as a souvenir at the 1933 Chicago World's Fair. This was the same year that similar models R108X Lady's Head and the metal R108B Companion and lithograph models were also produced in 1932. The bookshelf radio on the right is where am I? Majestic. It's a Majestic Model 50 bookshelf radio, history of nations from 1937. It has the same dial, bezel design, and carved wooden knobs as its bigger brothers, but in a similar bookshelf case. Formerly the Grigsby Ronow Company, the company filed for bankruptcy in 1934, a victim of the Great Depression, and reorganized as Majestic Radio and Television.
Hmm.
Down on the left is the one of the Crosley little battery sets. It's not really a transistor; it's a battery set. Crosley Enchanted Bookshelf Radio, model JM8BN. They made 6 of them. Some people said 7, but the 6 the 6 that I read about were from 1955 after Pal Crosley sold his company to Avco in 1945, just as World War II was ending. Avco continued manufacturing radios until 1956. This is a 55 radio. This transistor book radio was one of the last radios. It's a transistor set, not a battery set. This transistor book radio was one of the last radios they made. It was available in 6 different versions. The titles Fantasy, Magic Mood, Enchantment, Musical Memories, Treasure Island, and As You Like It. The little radio on the front right is a unbranded bookshelf transistor radio, biographical stories of great composers from about 1950, somewhere in the late 50s to the early 60s. Home Library, volumes 1 and 2. The most interesting one is the one in the very middle, which is the, let me find it. RCA, this is the RCA model X11 Aladdin in Chile. It was made in Chile.
Oh.
And Chile, they called it the Aldino, Aladdin. That's in Spanish, I guess. It was made about 1940 by RCA in their plant in Chile exclusively for export. It's a very small bookshelf radio measuring 4.5 inches high, 9.5 inches wide, and 3.5 inches deep. It utilizes 3 different shades of bakelite with the bookends sometimes found in ivory. It has been converted from 220 to 110. I've only seen about I've owned 2 of these. The very first one had some damage and I ended up selling it. This one was almost in mint condition. And you know, I'm never happy unless the radio turns on and plays. And so I didn't want to fly to Chile to test it. So I had to convert it.
Wow.
So that's all the radios. And this is the second year that I have entered the contest and won People's Choice. And what I always try to do is when I enter a contest like this is to try to put as much of the original advertising pieces in with the radios, which I think it really makes it look nice.
Yeah, it's you did a terrific job on the display, David. You know, I see all like, up here, the upper left, you have the Majestic there, and of course the Victor or RCA is right there and right in front of it. And here's the Crosley advertisement right adjacent to the transistor. Great job. Wow.
That little transistor radio in, what did I say, 1955 was $50. I mean, that's a lot of money for a little radio in 1955.
A lot of the early transistors, I mean, including, well, you start out with the one with the Regency that would later became Texas Instruments, and a lot of these other radios, they were very expensive, those early transistor radios. So that's no surprise. I've been collecting for 30 years. I've never seen one of those. That's a very, very rare radio you have. And congratulations, by the way. That's just I love your collection.
Yeah.
Thank you. When you say you've never seen one, you talking about the RCA?
Well, I've seen the RCA, believe it or not, but I never saw that Crosley transistor.
Really?
Never. That's the first one I've ever seen.
Some guy at the convention said he had all 6 of them, and he thought there was a 7th one. But
well, that's why I can't find him. He has them all.
That's right.
There you go. Let's see. Is this there we go. Look at that.
That's great.
There's your.
Okay, real quick.
Congratulations, David.
Thank you. Let me run through the events and everything, and then I've got a lot of pictures of contest entries and auction items, which John can run through them pretty quick. The events and activities on Friday included a technical session on the history and design of early pocket radios, auction number one, no, auction of tubes and paper items is always the first auction, which lasts maybe an hour to an hour and a half or 2 hours. Technical auction number one of radios, with all the bidding beginning at $5 minimum. And then the activities on Saturday included contest registration and viewing, a silent auction, auction number two of radios with all bidding beginning at a $10 minimum. A lot of the really nice stuff is on Saturday. A banquet and awards presentation ended the day. The banquet speaker was Lieutenant Colonel Everett DeWolf, who is a retired Air Force officer who spent 28 years in the Air Force, with 12 of them being on the crew of Air Force One as a navigator. He related the events of 9/11 when he was on Air Force One with Bush. The perspective
Oh God.
from the
That's when he was in Florida. I think he was when 9/11 went down.
Yeah.
He was with
Yeah.
a bunch of youngsters
Yeah.
in a school in Florida somewhere.
yeah,
So that's significant right there. That's a big piece of history.
Yeah, absolutely.
and so he talked about the perspective from the flight deck of Air Force One on that day. And, you know, there was some hints that the terrorists were going to try to hit the airplane. So he talked about how they kind of jumped around from place to place in the United States trying to get a handle on what was going on.
Wow. That's pretty significant. Probably pretty riveting stories.
Does everybody remember where they were?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
I certainly remember where I was. I was on Manhattan Island on the 13th floor of a building on Avenue of the Americas, right across the street from the from the Wall Street Journal building.
Wow.
And we were told to not go in the elevators, do not go in the subway, and they expected more attacks. And I looked out the window to the Wall Street Journal building, and this white panel truck pulled off the road and onto the entryway to the building. Big white panel truck, and I'm just thinking, now what?
Right.
Yeah. So it was. I was just talking to my brother earlier about that because it just all came up. Yeah, I was there on a business meeting. I was on the phone, and somebody came in and said a plane hit the towers, and of course we figured it was a Cessna or a Piper Cub or some drunk pilot.
Right.
Yeah, I walked around and it was total gridlock, and eventually, well, my wife finally did get through to me. I was calling her, and when we were talking, we were cut off. And then she did get a message to me that said there was a train leaving Penn Station. So I made my way down there. And as I'm walking down there, this guy walks up to me and he has a handful of white powder and he throws it in my face. He says, "Seek medical attention immediately."
Oh, jeez.
And I don't know, well, and Penn Station was covered with dust. It was all from the, yeah. So anyways, they just, we got on the train and they had one train leaving and I was lucky enough to get on it.
Wow.
That's where I was.
Wow.
I still remember it quite vividly. So,
I would believe you would.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
No question. I mean, I know I was walking from the car. I tied into work late just because I got delayed at home. So I pulled in. I usually in very early, around 7. I didn't pull into about 8:30, and my phone rings. My mobile phone. My brother's on the phone. He goes, "Hey, a plane hit the World Trade Center." And I said, "You're kidding me." I said, I look up in the sky. I mean, it's not a cloud in the sky, or if there is, it's like only a couple. And it's like, I said, "You're kidding. It's a fantastic day out there." He goes, and to Rob's point, I thought, oh, was it a small aircraft that went errant? He goes, "No, apparently it was a jet of some type." I said, "Uh-oh, I don't get a good feeling about this." And, then the chaos continued from there. But I remember like yesterday, I was in the parking lot walking from my car to the building and the phone rings. But well, maybe on a more positive note.
Yeah.
Um,
Uh,
um,
just a little bit more
oh yeah,
information.
of course.
There were 120 registered attendees for the convention, not including spouses. Almost 700 items were auctioned over 2 days. The number one highest auction item was a Zenith Model 5R317 glass rod from 1939 for $725.
Ooh,
Wow.
wow, wow.
Jim Sargent, the president of the club, handled all the auctions over the 3 days of the convention. Jim is a great auctioneer and handles all the online auctions for Sargent Auction Services, which many radio collectors are familiar with.
Oh,
This
sure.
this year, it really took a superior effort. He did a great job nonstop over 2 days with no relief at all. There's usually somebody that kind of spells him, but there was no spelling this year. He had to do the whole thing himself.
Yeah, we've had Jim on a few years ago. There's a
You had
guest.
Jim?
Yeah, we
I
did.
remember that. You sure did.
Yeah, it was great. We'll have to bring it back one of these days.
There's an auction going on right now that ends this Saturday.
Oh, yeah, of course.
The contest categories for this year's contest were crystal radios, AC/DC non-transformer radios pre-1960, transistor radios pre-1960, console tube radios, novelty radios, and there's a few more categories. The contest awards consisted of Best of Show, Best Restoration, Founders Award, First Time Contestant Award, and People's Choice.
And we know who got People's Choice.
I stuffed the ballot box. What can I say?
Vote early, vote often. See, we're seeing a pattern here, David. From last year.
Okay, if you want to start through the radios, John.
Yeah, sure. Let me just go. I'll probably just start. I have to confess, the order is not what the order you sent me because despite the title, Apple starts things off in time order as opposed to name of the photo, which is annoying to no end. But I hope you don't mind because I don't remember the exact order you sent to me. Is that a problem?
Okay, these were next to my entry and the contest entry, which are the two trophy radios from about 1941. And I looked up some information on them, which was real interesting. This pre-war novelty radio is fashioned as a baseball with realistic printed markings, a plated medallion over the top vent identifies trophy as the manufacturer.
Right.
The power volume control is on the left and the tuning knob is on the right. The case for this radio is made of cardboard. A printed paper cover is glued atop the cardboard to make the baseball pattern and lettering. Trophy made another novelty radio using the same design, decorated as a bowling ball. Inside the case is a conventional All-American 5.2 super heterodyne radio. It's a very tight fit.
I bet it is. I've never seen the bowling. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
The last guy said, people often ask questions about value for what it's worth. The Slusher, is that right, Slusher? Collector Guide values this radio at $700 to $800 depending on condition. The construction is difficult because they tend to overheat and they also pesky to service.
Yeah, I bet the latter. It's not surprising, but that's terrific. I've seen a couple of the baseball ones in the past, We've had one at least one or two of our swap meets. I've never seen the bowling ball radio.
I haven't
Okay.
either.
I
I've
didn't.
only seen the bowling ball one other time. You always see the baseballs though.
That's
The only time I saw the bowling ball was like probably 10 years ago or 11 years ago at Kutztown. Somebody had one. He wanted some. It was in the four-figure range. But
wow.
you always see the baseballs.
Hmm. I like the look of the baseball one. It certainly is more visual than the
I
bowling
think the
ball.
baseball is a lot cooler. I mean, you look
Yeah.
at the bowling ball, it looks kind of like a bowling ball, but then you have that very small trophy. I guess that's I don't know how that's on the how they put that on there, the decal or something. But I think the
Yeah.
baseball is way cooler anyway.
Yeah. I feel the same way, at least visually. If it's the same guts, then even more reason to have the baseball. But cool. I did not even know there was a bowling ball one. So this is actually first for me.
The ad below those two radios, uh, the price of those are about $12 each.
Yeah, so it looks like, and almost not quite, but almost the same value, just move the decimal point over to the far right. And that's the value. A little high, admittedly, but
What was $12 worth? $12 in 1941 would be worth how much in 2025? That's a good.
Oh, got to break out the calculator.
yeah, I brought the inflation calculator. I'm sure it's like, I'm sure it's well over $100.
Okay, John, ready when you
Oh,
are.
all right. Oh, wow. Look at this.
Beautiful.
Beautiful zenith. Beautiful. In fact, it even says the model there.
7S.
7S663.
Yeah, that's a 1941 model 7S663 set. And that radio was in the contest. The
Mm,
little cards in front of them indicate they were in the contest.
got it. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And not mind that on my shelf. Oh,
And there's your 1946 Catlin tuna boat, model 66X, the largest Catlin radio made,
interesting.
according to what I read.
Beautiful. I mean, this thing looks showroom new.
That's a contest entry. Now, this is a very interesting contest entry. Trying to research information on this particular radio was very difficult because I had only found one that had been sold that you could read about on the internet. And it's that site where you pay money if you want to know how much it sold for.
Oh, right. Yeah. Is that Worth? Is it called like Worth something another the site?
Vintage executive brass radio desk set with lamp, calendar, and pen holder. 1940, rarely seen Art Deco machine age brass desk set with executive brand radio, lamp, pen holder, and calendar made around 1940 by Executive Radio. All parts are solid brass except for the lamp column, which is brass plated. Few were made.
I've never seen one of these before. I love it. And I
That
love that mechanical calendar to the right. The old, just turn the
Yeah.
thing, control
They
yourself.
were popular for a number of years, those little calendar things.
Yeah. But I love the
I
whole
think
set.
I think you were
Incidentally,
thinking of
$12 in 1940 is equivalent to $277 today.
Wow.
Well,
I think you were
if
thinking
I
of
found
Worth.
one in that condition for $277, I would buy it.
I'd buy two in case I lost one.
Yeah, indeed.
I think you were thinking of Worth Point.
Worth White, thank you.
Yep.
Thank you. I couldn't think of and that was a compound word. I couldn't think of what the other piece of it was. Yeah, that's a beauty.
That's a pretty piece.
That is, yeah, that's special.
Every collector's desk should be adorned with one. Ah,
I,
Saba.
I knew you'd like this one, John.
Saba automatic 300. 300
Yeah.
automatic. Yes, indeed. This is like early 60s. These are true. You see the buttons at the bottom have the automatic tuner. So it just, has got the motor and it just will tune into the station. You get this little hum. So the obviously it's a directional thing. If you want to go up the bands, pick hit to the right, and if you want to go down, just hit to the
Was
left.
that signal seeking at all, John, or was that
Yeah.
just oh yeah?
So we'd grab the
Wow.
so we'd just tune, grabs it, and it would stop. A proper one would stop.
That was your German wonder bar right there. Just hit the
Yeah.
button and it scans.
Indeed. I mean, the nice radios and the three, I mean, the 300 was a pretty good sounding system, but not like their upper systems. I mean, some people sort of say the 300 was, yeah, for Saba was somewhat unremarkable, but it's all relative, right? It still sounded very good. It's just the better one sounded really good. But this is nice. And in fact, you don't see more often than I see them in the lighter finish. So I actually like to see the darker finish on this. So it's like this one's a particularly nice one. And this one looks, pretty mint, really, really nice shape. So
I
yeah.
think that, John, I think this was the only radio in foreign category.
Yeah. Um, Geez, so I was closer. I would have had something that was even rarer than that, but I'm a little too
He
far
was lucky
away.
number 13.
Oh, well, yeah, so he was. So, but he came with, I assume he came away with a prize because if you're a contest of one, not a problem.
So, John, when it's tuning, does it mute the audio while it's tuning, or do you hear beep, 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 beep as it goes by?
Let me think about this. I seem to think it muted it. I remember when it would stop and then it would grab a station. So it was typically, yeah, it wouldn't move quickly enough. If you heard anything, it was so quick because it moves very smoothly, stops, and then if a proper one will stop and do very little adjustment. Mine, I
That
had
that
my,
big Saba that was at Spring Cutstown that I shared with you guys a while
oh,
back. I
yeah,
think that muted when it was scanning, so
yeah.
I
I
wouldn't doubt if that one did it too.
I think they did it, and of course, bless their souls, the Germans will do everything they can to make it, have every feature and thus make it super complex and impossible to repair. So,
And the couple that I showed you from Friedrichshafen were in the
yeah.
$2,000 range. Is that about right?
Well, when you get the Freiburg, when you get the top end, I mean, some people will reach for the stars for some of the prices, on these. I thought it was I thought it was a bit high, but people will ask, and if someone's willing to pay, it's what the market will bear. But a top end Freiburg will usually command, an easy between 500 to $1,000 for like especially the later 50s, early 60s. They had like the Freiburg was like the 400, which is one of the peak ones, the sort of the zenith, and they were fairly uncommon. But in 2000, it's got to be special. I mean, really, I think the one you showed me was nice, but didn't feel like it was $2,000 nice.
Yeah, but there were 20,000 people there, and there were two of these, and they were gone real fast. So
Yeah, no question. I mean, hey, if someone's going to go buy Enigma, this is pocket change.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, I mean, to me, something like that, if I really were in that mark for one, yeah, I'd probably go 750 to 1,000. If it was a really, really special one, yeah, I'd willing to pay over 1,000, but you know, it had to be special. I know that Ross has a uh, Saba Freiberg from 56, I believe, that he's selling that I know is not going to be anywhere near that, but it's a nice shape and works. So now what do we have here? This is something I've never seen before. Oh,
It says radio glow, and I think
great.
maybe that lights up because I see clear and colored panels on it.
Yeah. Could be
Yeah,
see.
it's a 1936 made. It's called Radio Glow, 1936 stained glass radios by
Mm.
RG in Benton Harbor, Michigan. I think they only made radios for 1 year.
Wow. I love it. I've never seen one before. I'd love to see it operating. That is cool. And very Art Deco.
It's 2/3 of a barber pole.
Yeah. There you go.
It's really cool looking. I like the chrome around it.
Oh yeah, that's
Just,
absolutely outstanding. I'd love to see this lit up. It must be
I
really
don't think I've ever seen one of these at all. This is really, and it's in Benton Harbor, so well,
Yeah.
maybe Heathkit bought them out.
Whoop, sorry about that.
Benton Harbor, Michigan.
Interesting. Wow.
Can you
That
blow it up a little bit so we can see the dial, John?
yeah, I'll go. Whoops. Come on. We're
No.
at full, we're at
Yeah.
max. It's too bad they didn't have it fired up.
And it looks like it's just a broadcast band only, but
Yeah.
what a show that thing would look like with that thing's light up and playing.
That will take those French radios to a level. You know, the French always have, they have the bar, the light bars on each end side of the radio, and of course they always have the cool colors. This would give them a run for their money. Okay, obviously somebody Slagle.
Slagle?
Lego.
Slagle. I've never heard or seen one of those before.
Well, the reason this radio was in the contest was one of the members of the club was named Slagle.
Ah,
There we go.
He found the radio, and I think he restored it and got all the information on it and entered it in the contest.
wow. I mean, look at that. He's got Slagle tubes. I'm
Oh, it
impressed.
says on the front, it says Fort Wayne. I'm assuming that's
Indiana.
Indiana.
Yeah, Indiana, right there in the bulletin, right, the green bulletin.
I've never seen one of these.
It's in remarkable shape and it has all the documents and some tubes. Super cool.
Good
Here
looking
we.
set. I like that.
Oh,
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 Ah.
Okay, this is an airchrome speaker, octagonal shaped, double cone speaker, is double painted. The company hired artists to paint the cones with forest scenes, seacoast scenes, and others.
Oh, geez.
wow.
that's beautiful.
Oops, I'm trying to see if I can make this bigger. It's enlarging. Maybe it's just not willing to go. That is cool. I what
Okay, this was the only console in the contest room. This 1923-24 Victor double V S405. And the information, there was a big sheet of information which I took a picture of, so I had to kind of just write it up because you couldn't read it. And it said by 1923, radio was beginning to place phonographs as the choice for home entertainment. With Victor's top models sales declining, a decision was made that some models would be updated with radios to boost sales. A deal was made with Fried Eisman to provide radios for this deluxe 5-tube model.
Wow.
Now, when I was reading, I was thinking, keep in mind that the first broadcast over radio had just been in Pittsburgh on KDKA in November of 1920. So this was a little over 2 years later. They're putting a radio into this beautiful console. And this entry in the contest, I think it won the President's Award. And I believe
Wow.
when Jim was talking about the restoration of this radio. I mean, it took a lot of people and a lot of help and a lot of work and a lot of time, but it is really in mint condition.
Wow. Certainly
I
unique.
doubt if you'll ever see another one.
Yeah, I believe it. Wow, that's terrific. Wow, there's some
That's
amazing choices.
beautiful.
Yeah. Ah, the bug.
Crystal sets. Did I put a pic in any of them?
Yeah. Yeah, there should be. I'll follow up with that. I think it follows this. There you go.
Mystic Radio, the original bug set. I think this is from the mid 20s, I would guess.
Yeah. That is cool. Yeah, there she be. Wow, that's so small too. And here's a another boys, girls, get the bug. And this, well, we all have the bugs, just not the real one.
What is the price on it, John?
Let's see here.
A dollar
something.
Dollar something prepaid. It's a little, I might say $1.80 or 82 price prepaid. The Brush Pirate Company. Pretty cool. That's fun.
Okay, this is
Wilcox Gay.
1937 model A27, also known as the Bug Eyes.
I've never seen one of these.
Now, this was an auction item. I wish I had the prices that a lot of the stuff went for. I have a few, but this one I don't have.
Emerson.
I forget the model number.
Emerson, model 149. No, model 149, Bakelite and Plascon.
Right.
Originally sold for $22.95.
Very nice. I like the cream and said like black, or is that dark brown or
No, it's black. It's black Bakelite and
Okay.
then the white plastic on front.
very nice.
It's perfect. It's really nice.
Okay, we know who we saw this. There we go.
Okay.
Another Emerson.
This is an interesting radio because Emerson made this radio in a model 561, which you see a lot of in Bakelite, maroon Bakelite, black, maybe even ivory. But this almost looks like an Ingram cabinet on this radio. And when I finally found it, it's a model 615B from 1949, 615B. It's kind of late for an Ingram case, but sure is nice.
Beautiful. I love the
Good
nice,
looking set.
especially those elegant waterfall bars, grill bars. Beautiful. Now, is that when you say Ingram, so this is a wood cabinet, right?
It's wood, yes. This is the wood. All the other 561s were ivory Plascon or Bakelite, but this is the only. It looks just like a 561. If you Google Emerson 561, it looks like this, except the wooden set is a little bit wider, I think, than the other Emersons from that year.
Interesting.
I've only seen two of these. One was this year.
I wonder if those grill bars, whether they are part, because they look like they connect directly. I guess that they're wood. It's just,
I think
boy,
they are wood.
They look very delicate.
Yeah. First thing to break would be one of them.
Exactly. Ooh, very nice, true tone.
Where is that? 8% RC closely. I don't see that on my list.
The True Tone. Okay.
It looks like a 3-band, and it's got a stationized dial on AM.
Yeah. Yeah. That's beautiful radio. They have terrific dial faces.
Yes, they do.
Majestic.
Majestic.
Yeah, it's a Majestic 1936 model 5A 410. Looks like a 1940 set to me, but
It was really deco and futuristic for 36. I've seen lots of these, and they're just so cool looking.
That's certainly an unusual design. It's not what you
Especially with the bullet knobs and everything.
Yeah.
That just screams deco right there.
Indeed. Indeed. So they streamlined the yeah, it's a cool radio. Not really seen very often.
No,
Firestone 1939 model S 7403-4. This radio went for quite a bit of money in the auction. I think it was up $250 to $300.
Nice. Nice looking radio. Ah, seen it.
Zenith, this is a 1938 model 5S220. It's not seen very often. That radio went for $240.
Okay.
oh okay. They also made one of them they called a child's console, but I don't think that's it.
No, this was bigger.
Yeah.
Garrod 1945 Catlin Commander model 5AU-1. I couldn't see any damage to it. It went for $400.
Yeah, I feel it's probably about right. It looks in nice shape.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, Stuart Warner. I like
Yes.
these. I like these.
This is a Stuart Warner Air Pal from 1947. I've owned several of these. They're just cute is the word.
Yeah, that's I think aptly described. They're cool. Nice little package. They're in a tight little package.
Emerson Little Miracle AX 411. Great radio, hard to find undamaged. I'm not sure those are the original knobs on it though.
I don't remember what knobs that was supposed to have. It looks like they were Emerson knobs at least, though.
RCA 1939
Little Nipper.
midget set 9TX21.
I like that.
Isn't that
Nice,
cute?
what a nice dial face. I love the RCA Victor vertical RCA Victor on the dial face. Really cool. I like it.
Notice too, I think they called this the Little Nipper. Notice too on an AM dial, it goes up to 1720 on the kill cycles.
Yeah.
You can get the police calls.
Oh yeah, I just noticed
stand up there.
it even has RCA Victor embossed on the right side.
Yeah, it's molded. It's molded in there.
That is cool. I like that. What a nice radio.
What did that one sell for? You have a number?
I don't have a number on that one. If I had to
Oh,
get
okay.
somewhere, maybe a little over or a little under 100.
That's very reasonable for that.
I'd pay that just because it's cool. Because it's so unusual.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Oh.
Ooh. That's a lovely Crossley. Look at that.
1948 model 9-102.
That's a great looking radio. I think I mentioned this before. I really do enjoy the period of radios from about like right after World War II to let's say around 50, 51. Just they carried over the Art Deco designs and maybe threw in an FM band on some of them, and you get this really attractive radio with a little more sound, and it's just they carry over from pre-World War II a little bit. This certainly fulfills that certainly is one of these kind of radios.
And Pal Crosley was far from being shy. You know, he was using his my pillow type marketing for a lot of his stuff, his refrigerators, his cars.
Yeah, but
You
you
know,
know, but
half a
damn,
million watt radio station. I mean, you know, he wasn't shy.
hey, pioneer. That's cool. I like that. Oh, another Emerson.
Yeah, this radio went for quite a few bucks too. It's an
I've never
Emerson
seen one of these.
Yeah, ditto.
1936 model 107 duotone. It's an Ingram case on that radio.
I would believe that. What year did you say, Dave?
1936.
Okay. Interesting dial face. Is that just is it so unfortunately this is maximum. I can't zoom in anymore. Um, but it's really intriguing. That's a very small, it doesn't scroll, right? That's just the needle, goes left to right.
Can you close in on it?
I'm maxed out. I'm absolutely
I can click. You see, you already use your Mac and bringing it in there. I brought my Mac even closer. I think that's just the AM only radio.
okay. And so the needle is right here where my cursor is that correct? So
Yes.
this would go, okay. So it's just a small window. Okay. I almost was wondering whether it was a scroll dial, like the airline radio had the scroll dial, but I guess not.
Hey, John, I didn't know when you did these Zoom meetings, they limit you on how many close-ups you can do.
I don't think so. Shouldn't be. Why is that something you?
Well, I mean, a while ago you were moving the
Yeah.
curve.
Well, some of these pictures I looked because you can't like if I'm at max, if I go down, it's for some weird reason I can't go any. I'm moving the zoom as best I can. It only is doing it one. I don't know. Yeah, when I move the files, because I obviously grabbed them from your email, moved through them in a folder in an album. Yeah, I can't explain it. Most some I was able to with no trouble.
Oh, an Air Castle.
Nice.
Yeah, this is, we may be getting near the end. Air
We,
Castle model 136 E as in Edward, A as in Apple, 136 EA, 1935. It was made by Detrola
okay.
under the
Ni-
Air Castle brand.
Nice looking dial face and a tuning eye. I like it. And last but not least,
Yeah, this was the ad I sent to John kind of late, which I had in my computer for the little AirPal.
yeah,
AirPal.
that's cool. Actually, you get a better sense of scale relative to, yeah, that's cool. I like it.
Here's the My Pillow marketing. It says only Stuart Warner gives you, what does that say? A strobosonic tone.
Robosonic.
So that's your My Pillow. Yeah, right there.
There you go, strobosonic, right? Strobosonic. I love the terms that came up in the like 40s and 50s. I don't care what the technology was, whether it's cars, radios, aircraft. I mean, you name it.
It needs fins.
Exactly. Yeah. Don't even think about it. It's all the different names they use on, it's cool. I love that these 50s photos, the woman's all dressed up. You look how well dressed up in her nice stuff. She looks like you go on the street. You could go out of the house with it with her air pal. Cool. Well, David, that was terrific, and congratulations. Well done on your second year in a row People's Choice.
Thank you very much. It was fun.
All right. Well, let's see here. So why don't we do a little pick up where we left off and some more round robining here. I know, Noah, you had something you wanted to show, so why don't I pick on you?
Yeah, okay. Let me I think what I might do is, just to avoid craziness here, maybe I should just leave the meeting on my PC and just go to the phone.
Okay. We got two Noahs. Well, that's really weird.
Oh, this your evil twin brother, right?
He's got a goatee, just like Spock. Remember the
It's
transporter?
like Dr. No.
Okay. Now we can't hear you, Noah, at the
Oh, here it
moment.
comes.
Drum roll, please.
It's black.
Let me
There we go. Now,
spotlight.
I was at an estate sale and I saw this black box,
A black box.
and it was out in the garage. It wasn't even in the house. And I said, I wonder what this is. In fact, hang on just a second. I'm going to get a little more light on the subject.
Uh-oh, we're in total darkness.
Okay. So there was this very nondescript black box, nice little plastic handle on it. It's not very big. I said, I wonder what that is. And I can't remember if it was a Nevik forum or one of the other many forums that I'm on, but recently there's been a lot of talk about dim bulb testers.
Oh, yes. Wow.
So I open up the lid and it's the Christie electronic tester model A2 from the Christie Trade School in Chicago, Illinois. And it comes with a bulb to put in there. And then it also has another smaller bulb. If I could find the silly thing, there it is. Almost like a little Christmas tree bulb. Trying to do this while holding the camera and not knocking the thing down.
Right.
My lack of manual dexterity. You have this little bulb that's screwed in there. And you plug it into the wall. There's its power cord.
Okay.
And then it has an outlet right here for plugging in your radio. And it has a pilot light on one side and a neon light on the other side. And you can turn the meter on or off, and you can put it in test light mode versus 110 volt mode. So you can actually plug in a radio, or I guess almost any other electrical appliance that you're trying to test for shorts. And you get the dim bulb tester effect. If it glows brightly, you got a dead short. And if it flashes and then goes dim, then that means there's no short in the radio. But you can also turn on the meter and actually see how much current is being drawn by what you have plugged in.
Wow. Yes, it's exactly what this whole conversation was going on earlier this week.
Well, if you're going to use a radio on that, and that thing's in amps, you're not going to see that meter move very much at all.
Well, you will if you got a short, but no.
Well, yeah.
Right.
I mean, I don't know. Well, if it's a big old console or something, it's maybe got a pair of push-pull 45s and a Type 80 rectifier.
That might have been for like a handyman shop or something, where a guy's testing a vacuum cleaner motor or something like that, or a refrigerator.
Maybe a refrigerator or something. But
yeah,
that is cool. Yeah, because it's portability. It definitely looks like something you'd be driving around in your.
So I have to ask the question now, Noah. What was the price you paid for this?
Free.
I paid $5 for it.
That's
Oh my, worth
that's
every
a,
penny.
absolutely just for the wow factor. That is so fun.
So then I went online, and thanks to
Oh,
good
you
old
found the schematic?
radiomuseum.org, I found the schematic. So I haven't just like plugged it in and turned it on yet, but I did take that faceplate off and lifted it up the guts, and the diode or rectifier, if you will, that 1N5402 is a selenium rectifier. And there is actually, the schematic says 8 microfarad 250 volt. There's actually a 10 microfarad 300 volt electrolytic in there. And they're basically, if you look at the schematic, they're basically right across the line. What did I do? There we go. They're right across the incoming line. And so I was hesitating to plug it in and try it out yet until I could maybe replace the selenium with like a 1N4007 and put in a fresh electrolytic, because I wasn't sure what would happen to the rest of the circuit if one or the other of those things was either shorted or opened or whatever. So
what's the purpose of DC in there?
I don't know. I think there's part of those 2 test points there, the red and the black. It says neon test probe. So theoretically, what you're supposed to be able to do, if you turn the pages here and go through the instructions on how to use it and how to operate it, it says you can test condensers. And like if you put the condenser across those test points,
got it. Okay.
It should like glow brightly and then get dimmer as the condenser charges up. And if it doesn't glow at all, then that means it's just an open circuit, not a good condenser. And if it alternates and glows bright dim, then it's like a leaky condenser. I don't know. There's a whole bunch of different things, and how to test for shorts and how to test for grounds and continuity and opens. And one of the things that's interesting, if you look at the schematic and then you look at the box, these test light probes on either side, there's a red and a black. That's basically full line voltage right there. Like you're supposed to put probes in there and then go probing around and putting the negative side on the chassis and then touching other things inside whatever you're working on to see if something is shorted out or not by making the light bulb. So it's kind of a widow maker, I think. You've got some like live line voltages showing up in places that there really shouldn't be. The other reason why I didn't just go for it boldly and screw the light bulbs in and turn it on and plug a radio of mine into it. Let me see if I can find it here in the bottom. When I removed the fuse holder, what I found inside was the classic balled up piece of tinfoil that was in there in place of a fuse. So it's like very nice, and one end of it is kind of darker than the rest.
Well, you know what happened though is the kid that owned it, he saw his father put a penny in the fuse slot in the box in the house.
Exactly.
So I figure, oh, why not get some aluminum foil from mom and I'll just stick it in my tester.
Well, and according to the instructions in the schematic here, that fuse is a 15 amp type 3AB.
Wow.
Fuse.
That's a 250 volt fuse, I think.
Yeah. And the only thing that I could put my hands on was a 15 amp 3 ABC fuse, and I'm not exactly sure I know what the difference is between a AB and an ABC. But I figured Well, for $5, I'm not too worried,
Hey, Noah, make sure your life insurance is paid up.
I was just going to send it to Bob and have him try it out and let me know how it worked.
Well, it's not only is it testing four stars, it's testing your shorts.
Oh, that's what all the kids used to say in school when I was going to class. I'll give it to Bob. He'll find a way to sort
That's
himself
right.
or whatever.
Now it's interesting. It's in one of these things. Okay, the dim bulb tester is obviously testing for shorts and whatnot. The when you flick the switch to the 110 volt position, as it says here in the instructions, it says, the appliance should run if it's okay, and the appliance of a larger wattage, the 2.5 volt indicating bulb will light, indicating that current is passing through the appliance. So there's a shunt. If I go back to the schematic, not only do you have the test lamp, which is just the big light bulb, but you also have this 2.5 volt indicator light with a shunt across it. And so if you go to throw the switch to test light mode for a dim bulb tester, you go through the big light bulb. But if you put it in the 110 volt position, then you go through this 2.5 volt indicator light with a shunt in parallel with it. And then you move down, there's the socket that your thing is plugged into. And then you can choose whether or not to go through the meter to measure the actual current that's going through your appliance. But then over here with this weird neon light and the neon test probe with a red and a black with this diode and electrolytic there, I'm finding a little bit mystifying. Now the pilot light's pretty easy to figure out, and the 15 amp fuse is pretty easy to figure out. But what you're supposed to actually test with the neon test probe, I'm not really sure. So I might have to actually read the manual instead of just printing it out. But I thought that's a cool thing, and I've never actually built a dim bulb tester of my own, and now I don't have to because I have a Christie electronic tester of my very own that I can use, and it's an official piece of calibrated test equipment. So that was my $5 find that I wanted to share with the group.
I just went on my phone and I kind of Googled this 1N5402 diode that's in that thing. It's good for 3 amps, so you could put a 1 amp fuse in there and maybe it'll go pop if you start drawing too much.
Okay.
That's pretty darn
Google doesn't
cool.
lie. There it is. Oh, it's not coming through. Okay, there it is.
Very cool.
That is cool for $5 though. I would have bought it.
Just for the
fun.
I thought you were going to show us a tube can opener radio.
Well,
where's the can opener on it?
My original thought was to plug in the AM/FM can opener radio into this and then be able to show the functionality of it, show the bulb only glowing dimly, maybe turning on the meter and seeing how much current is being drawn by the AM/FM radio versus operating the can opener, and actually demo this box. But I haven't gotten around to, I had the fuse, but I hadn't, reinstalled or replaced the selenium rectifier. And I can't believe it, but I don't have a 10 microfarad. I always have a bunch of filter caps because that's, for power supplies, but I guess I've used them all up. So I've got to place another order so I can just stick a 10 microfarad, 450 volt electrolytic in there in the place of the 10 microfarad, 300 volt one of unknown age that's inside this thing.
What? Don't you want to reform the cap?
Yeah. Well, I figure once I put a new cap in there, I can take the old cap and I can use the neon test probes to test that condenser to see if it's
this is true. Yes, you're right.
is who's checking the checker.
Yes.
So that's that.
Now, remember, boys and girls watching this on YouTube. Now, Noah is a trained professional. Do not do this at home.
That's right.
Yes, we don't want anybody to get hurt.
Right, indeed. Cool. That was fun. That's really cool.
That is cool.
Maybe by the next event, I'll have a demo with something plugged into it.
That'd be great. So, hey, Greg, what's going on? Yep. Yeah, mute there. You're on mute there, right, Greg?
Yeah.
There we are.
Oh. No, not too much. I didn't get a chance to dig anything out to show tonight, but
No problem.
been enjoying the pictures.
No problem. Well, we got lots of good stuff, to show. But all right, no problem. No problem. We'll catch you next time. You always have lots of stuff, so.
I do have a Shure microphone, though.
Well, then why don't you pull that out?
They have showing that. Yeah, it doesn't say Shure, but yeah, here it does. Kind of hard to see it, but
There we
No.
go. There we go.
Nice.
This is kind of a significant microphone because I actually won this in a contest. I don't know if you can read that on there.
Let's see here. Rock on.
Rock on. It's signed Kelly Clarkson.
Oh, wow.
Clarkson.
Pretty cool.
Apparently used this in her video for the song What Doesn't Kill You Makes You Stronger.
Oh, you're not going to belt out the tune for us here, Greg?
No, I leave that up to her, but
That's
Greg, I
terrific.
think you ought to send that down to Noah, given his new test equipment there.
I was
Hey,
thinking
Greg,
Noah
what's the black and white photograph over your head?
Yeah, the photograph?
Yeah.
That's a different country music group, Little Big Town. It's a signed picture.
Okay.
Cool. You have all sorts of memorabilia.
All sorts of memorabilia, yeah. I was just thinking, though, Noah should probably send that to Tom. That's a nice quackery piece of equipment for him to
Could plug a radio in a freshly reowned radio into it and see how it measures.
Well, you could probe, you say a doctor could use it and see what's going on with people. Oh man. So Carl, what's going on with you? I know you just got back from a long trip.
Not much. I hope to finish up the 43-foot vertical within the next week. That's the big plan. So
Nice. And I know that the next meeting you have some AWA museum photos you'll be able to show us.
Yep. Yeah. On the way out, my wife said when we were planning the trip, she said, "Is there anything you want to see out that way as we go there?" And I said, "Well, as a matter of fact."
Yeah, I wish you didn't ask that question.
Yeah, she actually enjoyed it. And I got to tell you, it is an amazing museum. I went to the old one years ago, and it wasn't very. I mean, there's a lot of neat stuff there, but boy, they've done a great job of putting the stuff out there and displaying it, and the variety of things that they've got. So I would suggest that if anybody is in the Rochester area, it's well worth the trip.
Definitely. We certainly look forward to. Sorry, go ahead, Greg.
Well, I was going to ask Carl, you mentioned before that he passed through Milwaukee. He was only about 35 miles from me. Did you visit any of the museums and stuff in Milwaukee?
No, we just we had dinner with friends and got up the next day. Well, they've got a couple of horses we wanted to see. We're not horse people, but she is, and just visited, had dinner at a great restaurant somewhere out of town, and got up the next day and drove down to Chicago where my wife's brother lives. So that was pretty much it.
Chicago is about exactly 120 miles south of here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, thanks, Carl.
Thank you, sir.
Not a problem. Tom, we know you've been shopping around for cheap for the dollar store.
That's about it. Yeah. Oh, lots of stuff going on here. My wife wanted a new car, so went out and bought a Toyota Highlander and jeepers. That thing is all electronic. First of all, they sneaked in a little four-cylinder um, turbo into where a nice six-cylinder engine was in last year's model. I didn't realize that. Um, Turbos always scare me a little bit because they're spinning at such a high speed, and you wonder if the bearings, and it's the first year of the motor. Anyway, so you get a car these days, and you can't just turn on the infotainment system. You've got to link it to your cell phone, and then they want your cell phone number, and then you want your email, and then they want a credit card. And oh man, you can't just turn a knob and turn on the radio. It's just impossible. Absolutely beyond frustrating for me. But I got to live with it. I guess that's where we're going in these days. Same thing when you when you buy a new computer, they want you to open a Microsoft account or an Apple something account, depending on what kind of computer you have. So they really got you, no matter whether you're coming or going.
I'll tell you, after this last renewal that Microsoft wanted, I went to Open Office, and I have been thrilled with it.
Yes,
Cost
very
nothing.
good. Very,
And
very nice. Libra
yes,
Office is also a good one, and WPS is a third one.
yep.
All of those work as well as Microsoft Office.
Yeah, and I use Thunderbird now as the email client, and I'm very happy. It syncs
Yeah,
across all
me
my
too.
devices.
Thunderbird and Firefox, and they keep trying to get you to use their browser Edge, and it's
Yep.
really hard to keep that thing. They keep throwing ads at you. Why aren't you on Edge?
Yeah,
Yeah.
'cause I
And
don't
That
like
puts
it.
you on edge.
and Tom, the other thing to know about that car when it's asking you for your cell phone number and syncing up to your phone and all that, the car will periodically make long distance phone calls on your phone back to the manufacturer to report in for like diagnostics and usage and health and that kind of thing.
Yeah, they report on whether you're driving straight or whether you're shaking a little bit, and
Yeah. So it wants your phone number so it can make outgoing calls. Now, back in the day when like long distance calls cost a lot of money on a cell phone, that was pretty annoying, or less, more annoying than it is now. But
yeah.
Hey, Tom, I sent you a PM in the chat box, just so you
Okay.
know. A question
Thank
I've been
you.
wanting to ask you for a while.
I've been buying Toyotas for 25 years. I have a Venza, which they don't make anymore. Well, the
Right,
one I have,
right.
they don't make anymore.
Mhm.
They came back with a second. I have a first generation
Right.
Venza. It's a four-cylinder, big four-cylinder. It's like 2.7 liter. My wife's got a 2016 Camry with a 2.5 liter.
Yeah.
We've had 6 Toyotas, and I grew up a Chevy guy. I mean, but
Yeah.
when I worked for a company that we had company cars, and we had 2 Toyotas, and they ran like crazy, and they sold them off. I was out of town. They sold them both off and got different vehicles. I said I would have bought one of them cars from you guys because
Yeah.
I was just amazed at the reliability. It really educated me. So the only thing I would worry about, Tom, with the new vehicle is that with the turbo, make sure that you're good with your oil changes. That's so important with
Yeah.
those turbos. It just I don't
Yeah,
have a
I'm
turbo vehicle, but
definitely on it. And my wife, she uses an Apple. She uses a Toyota. I'm a Chevy guy. I got
Right.
I had a
myself.
2007 Highlander at one time, and I loved it. And about 6 years ago, a guy ran a red light in town. He was doing 40 miles an hour, and he T-boned me,
Wow.
and that was the end of the Highlander. So,
On your
I bought
side,
that car brand new, and I loved that car. It was
did he
great.
hit you? Did he hit you on your side or the passenger
Hit me
side?
on the driver's side. I had a sore shoulder for about a week.
Oh, but
He hit me
that's
so hard
all.
though, it bent the unibody on the vehicle, and
Yeah.
since it
That's
was
that.
it was full-time four-wheel drive, and they weren't going to fix that. So
Yeah.
your insurance company handed me a check, and then I bought that 2016 Camry. So that was the end of that.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Well, I was a little worried about the survivability, especially I guess she had a 2020 Highlander, and it had this nice big six-cylinder engine out in front of you, and that's pretty good if you're in a crash. And this little four-cylinder thing looks like you need a couple of mice in there on a treadwheel to get it to go.
Well, you're surprised with
Well,
this variable, these little turbos that give you a lot of torque at the bottom end. You'd be surprised how they can get a lot out of a small
I,
six-piston
I,
motor.
I don't worry too much about my two four-cylinder cars because I'm not ready to drag race anybody or drive like a Ferrari. I've got a neighbor that's got a Tesla a couple doors down from me, and I'm almost tempted to bring my wagon out and do a quarter-mile pass with that guy. He's hot rodding that thing all over the place.
Yeah.
But no, I Toyota is fine. Honda's a great car too. I have no bones to say anything negative about Honda, but most
I
of the
had my way,
Japanese cars are pretty good.
it would be Chevy Tahoes all the way because they're big, heavy things. You get hit by almost anything, you can walk away from it. But glad to
Wish you
hear
can,
that the Toyota survived and that you survived.
right,
I'm still here.
Yeah.
in the
I'm
case
still
of the
here.
Tahoe, you can sleep in it, Tom.
The
No,
guy I
I do,
ran
I
into me
do.
was
He
driving
asked me.
like a early 2000 Chevy van, and he couldn't even speak English. So after he came up to me, he's holding his smartphone and going like this, and had some kind of app for translation. I go, "Nyeh." I just reached in my pocket, and the police station was a block away. So I'm Robert Bennett, blah, 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 blah. I just got T-boned by a guy. And then next
Yeah.
thing you know, there's three cruisers that came out, and
Right.
I'm
Right.
looking at my Highlander. I wanted to cry.
Yeah.
I knew it was toast.
Yeah.
But I was lucky to walk away from it. That's the important thing, though.
Certainly the most reliable car I've ever had, the Highlander, but I still like the heft of the Chevy, and it's a good sleeping car. The Chevrolet Motel is a Chevy Motel is a very good place.
Exactly. It even has a vacancy sign.
I've always liked the Chevy Suburbans. They're a great utilitarian vehicle. They're very safe, and Chevy went to a 6.2 liter gas motor, and they had some problems with them. And I won't get into specifics and bore you guys about that, but I think they were great vehicles. There was a guy in the New Jersey club that had a Suburban that had, I think it was a 2001 or 2002, it had a Vortec 350 engine in it. That car had 330,000 miles, still ran good, but the whole outer body shell was rusting away. I was walking by, and me and my friend, we were walking by his car, and oh God, we better tell Bob about that. I said, what are you looking at? He says, stick your head underneath the back of that thing. His gas tank is hanging down like this because the strap where the metal was rusted away. The strap didn't break, but it literally delaminated the metal because the car was so rusty.
Wow.
Yeah, I often wonder about they hang a spare tire under there by one little thread, and if that thing rusts through, you're going to have your spare tire is going to go bouncing off on the road behind you, killing people. It's scary as heck.
I can relate to what
I'll share one thing with you guys. I don't want to bore you guys with all my stuff, but I love looking at pictures and memes. I think that they're cute, and some people are very creative. Some are boring, but if you can give me a share screen, John, I'll show you.
Yeah, good to go.
Good to go. I got this from a New Jersey Antique Radio Club member. He sent me this email just today, and he was still talking about the repair clinic that we did last weekend, and it was really a lot of fun. And he says, I had some thoughts about maybe getting T-shirts for when we do the repair clinics. I thought, oh, what is that? So this is what he sends me. Where is it? Here it is. So that's the perspective T-shirt.
That's what I do. I fix stuff.
This is what I do. I fix stuff and I know things.
There you go.
I thought that was pretty cool.
That is.
And that and a quarter will get you no cup of coffee.
Yes, exactly.
$2 maybe.
Yeah.
I can relate to what you're going through, Tom. I had a 2020 GMC Acadia with the V6 in it, and I traded it in on a new Chevy Traverse, 2025, and it's got the 2.5 turbo in it. And I was impressed that it's really got a lot of spunk and power. I mean, the only difference that I notice is a little bit noisier being a four-cylinder, but otherwise it works just as good.
That's a real
Yeah.
good looking car, Greg. Are you getting into any of the hassles with the infotainment and having to hook a cell phone to it and all that crap?
Well, they did that at the dealership when I bought it. I mean, you can make hands-free calls with it and things like that. That part's kind of handy, I guess. But I've taken calls, but I've never made any on it. But
They're always trying, Chevy's always trying to get you to hook up to their cloud and their internet and everything else, and forget it.
Hmm. Actually, there's one person I haven't called on yet, and that's Joe.
Joe.
Joe from Michigan. Joe's been very silently listening out there. Joe, are you out there?
I am out here.
There he is.
There he is.
Hey,
Yeah,
Oh, what's going on?
yeah. Not much new here. I actually got a pair of L200 JBL speakers I was just messing with. One tweeter's not as loud as the other one, so I was trying to play with the attenuator. I gave up, put it back together.
Oh, okay.
That's about it here in Michigan.
Oh, all right, but I'm glad also the cold weather's coming your way, I take it.
Oh yeah, I went to work today at like 9 o'clock. It was like 63 degrees. I left at 5 o'clock and it was like 48 degrees. Wicked wind came through and everything, and it was getting cold. I think winter's here. I think they were telling us Sunday into Monday we're supposed to see our first snow of the year.
Oh boy. Get brush off the dust off your shovel.
What, Joe, what
Yeah.
part of Michigan are you at? You're not in the
Uh,
upper peninsula, are you?
No, I'm Detroit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Well,
Yeah.
hope you get very little snow. Hopefully it's stuff you can just, it'll just blow away, or it'll just be wet roads and just a little white coating on the grass.
I
yeah,
hope so too. I'm not ready for this.
we're
Hmm.
getting some up here in Vermont too. Get about 2 or 3 inches, but I'm way up at 2,000 feet.
Oh, right. And plus you have, many a heavy piece of machinery to plow it or drive around in it.
And one other thing I wanted to mention, I've been replacing all my lights in garages and barn and stuff like that with these things.
Oh
And
yeah, I've seen
they
those.
are, if you get the ones that are 20,000 lumens, they cost maybe $10 a piece instead of the usual light bulb, and on Amazon, and it's just incredible. And 87, 86, I guess I am. The extra light is really, really handy. So I recommend those if you have burned out bulbs. Of course, getting up to the ceiling on a ladder is a little bit scary,
Oh yeah, exactly. Um,
but they really put out an incredible amount of light for a garage or a barn.
yeah.
In a space
Are,
where you have a center mounted or a ceiling mounted socket.
Tom, are they noisy? Like if you're trying to get on the radio and do some DXing or try to get a QSO going, are they noisy?
There was one that was, and I killed it. I put it on the free table.
And the next day, where it took it, you see go flying out the window of the house. Oh man, that's funny. Actually, I can show something. I have this a little recent acquisition. Uh, I'll share my screen here. Um, Let me see if I
Oh,
got.
look at that.
So I have this. So I actually have had this a little while, but I have a little bit of a sentimental reason for these because my dad had. This is a Montgomery Warren airline. This is a 1461A. This is from like 1974. This is a 5-band radio. These are nice little radios. I mean, these were made in Taiwan, as it turns out, because this is or this is around 74. But they're just nice quality. They sound really pretty good. I mean, yeah, obviously there are better DXers than this, but this is more than reasonable. I can tune into the airband and catch, airport related traffic. It's just manual tuning instead of a scanner. But I'll show you the next line up, and I'll explain why I'm showing this in a moment. Is Then there's the next bigger brother, which is this one, which is a 6 band. And this is the one my dad had this very radio when I was growing up, and I used to play with it. And too much to his annoyance, I wouldn't reset the station exactly where it was. And he knew that I was playing with it because he said, "Hey, this it's not on station anymore. Stop playing with my radio." And so I decided to get my own because both of these, like on eBay, they're like new shape. Um, and they're terrific little radios. Um, Plus, there's a little dial lamp, and it even has AFC. So it's pretty nice. But what I learned
You don't
about
see tuning. These things usually don't have a tuning meter. It's got a nice little tuning meter
yeah,
on it.
even when you go beyond the lower radios, you'll get the tuning meter. But it has a nice little tuning meter on both the lesser one, the 5 band, as well as the 6. This is a 1461A. But anyway, when I had these radios, I happened to discover, because I always saw the jacks on the side of the radio, that they offered a rarely bought accessory. They had an FM multiplexer stereo unit you could attach to this. And I found one on eBay for reasonable money in perfect condition with the power cord and the adapter cords. And I'll show you. I just got this. It is called the Gen 1431A, and I'll show some photos here. This is the unit. You can see it looks just like, but
How do you like that?
they made an FM stereo adapter. All it has is an FM stereo lamp and its own tone and volume.
For that speaker.
Exactly, for that speaker. So you're controlling it. See, whoops, I didn't mean to do that. So, oh, there we go. There's the thing. So this is a little bit hard to see, but there's just this cable right here, and the nice cable has a color coded so you get it in the right direction, because there's a double jack that goes in here, and they make sure they show you which direction it needs to be, because they had these little white lines to show the jack above, and then two lines for the two. So and and this is when it's fired up. You just see the stereo light, but all it is you just daisy chain them together with the two jacks, with the jack. This just goes from side to side, and you have a nice FM stereo, and it works nicely. You get true multiplexing, so it handles the multiplexing circuitry, and you have to control the tone and the volume individually. So you have to match them, of course, naturally. But once you do, it's pretty cool. And I've never seen one. The only ones I've seen are either tattered shape or people asking, silly money. And this one was very reasonable and came with everything, including the cables. Because when I have seen them, I rarely have seen the original factory cables. And this one looks like somebody never used it. They just shelved it and never went anywhere. And I just happened to find it, and I said, yes. So it's this fun little piece of accessory that, it's a little facet of electronics that, somebody could buy, but you did, because I'm sure it added twice the price of the radio just to get or more just to have the accessory. But that was my little find. I said, wow, that's cool. It's just kind of fun to find something you just don't see very often. And it works like brand new.
You would just never think with an inexpensive radio to see all these accessories on it. This is mind-boggling. This is so cool. It's just really neat.
Yeah, I mean, it's not going to win any sound awards, but it does have stereo. There's no question. You could hear the separation. It does its job very nicely. Um, you know, uh, but it's just fun. It's just, I thought, wow, what a clever idea. And I had no idea, because I don't think I ever went with my dad very often to Montgomery Ward, because, he used to go to Montgomery Wards for, kicking around, either for tools, if it wasn't, and he usually went to the radio department and looked at what they had at the airline. And I remember he came home with that nice 6-band radio, and nice. I think he liked the size. You could put it right, in the living room in a fairly inconspicuous place that unfortunately I knew where it was. Um, but yeah, so this is a little like a little factoid about airline radios. They offer sometimes these neat little accessories, and this one's kind of fun. And so I thought I'd just sort of show that, so you guys might appreciate that. Um, but yeah, so well, gosh, that works out pretty well. It's 7:28 according to my or I say try to get 9:28 on the dial. So I think
And
it's
Mickey's got one hand over between his legs, and the other one is up kind of like this. So yeah, it's that time, I guess.
yeah. So this is actually we end up pretty much on time.
Can I share one thing really quick
Of
before you
course.
guys? I have to go. I have to go pull it down off the wall
Yeah,
because
yeah, sure.
most people will have clock radios.
Okay.
My silly mind. Here it is. I have a radio clock.
Oh, let me
Oh.
spotlight this in.
So this is just something that I put together. I just saw I had a bunch of transoceanic parts. This is like 20 years ago. And
I love
I
it.
just took this is an H500 transoceanic dial and I just put clock guts into it. Went to my local craft store, got a piece of wood and cut a piece out of it and made some things I could adapt it up and hang it on the wall.
I love it. That
So,
is
a lot of people
cool.
have a clock radio, but I have a radio clock. So there you go.
Very
It's
nice.
straight.
Well, geez,
Great.
say, hey Bob, you guys start mass producing these. I'll get on the list.
All right. Well, now that you're
I
going
made
to do
about
that,
three of
now
them
you're going
20
to do that.
years ago.
I have a clock TV, or is it a TV clock? What is it?
Oh, here we go.
Oh,
Yeah, I started this. This is all my
man.
fault.
Oh, there it is. Yeah,
Yes.
that's cool. Wow, you guys have some cool stuff.
Oh, I see he's got the Chrysler model in the enclosure.
There's my mini 300G convertible. Yeah, I have to have that.
Was that the pace car one, I think?
No. That's just a 61G convertible.
Oh,
That's the one
okay.
that's the one that's out in the garage.
Very nice.
Was it?
Cool.
But yeah, TV clocks and radio clocks are pretty cool things.
And of course, Canoper radios.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. Wow, I love it. I'm glad we stayed a few more minutes to see these cool little clocks.
These little widgets.
Yeah. Well, you know what? It's all like vintage electronics,
The
man.
Kelly Clarkson side microphone. That was uber.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's cool.
That's
very
cool that you won that, Greg. I like that a
I
lot.
actually met her once.
Oh,
She was a
cool.
redhead.
Wow. Now, wow, that's quite how long ago was that?
2009 or 10, before all the super fame she's got now.
It was a sort of event you were at, or?
Well, it was one of her concerts.
Oh.
Actually,
Oh, so this was before she got her television show, I guess, and all that. Because I see her, she's on TV just about every day during the week.
Doesn't she have a TV show or something?
That's a TV show, yeah.
oh, I think, yeah.
I thought I heard just because they are like occasional advertisement of the TV just happens to be on a weekday.
That girl can sing, man. She has a pair of lungs, and I'm not saying that to be funny. She can sing.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely.
Sing.
How about a jukebox radio?
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Now
here we
he's playing all the big guns. All right, hold on. Let me
I
spotlight
planted the
this.
seed.
Oh boy, look at that's cool.
That is nice.
You guys have the coolest toys. That is cool. Thank you.
Stuff that you have to pile up around your desk just to keep you from doing anything productive.
It's fun. But well, cool. Well, guys,
Right.
thanks
Well, thank you.
Thanks for the for seeing more toys. Because that's what really we are. This is just a glorified Toys R Us, just for vintage electronics.
Yeah, I've seen stickerages in various places, usually on the back of a car, and it usually says the man that dies with the most toys wins.
Yeah, that's right.
Then their wives have to clean it all up.
Yeah, that is
That's
true.
the only trouble.
My wife
Right.
says, if you die and leave me with all this stuff, I'll never speak to you again.
Oh man.
Figure out what that is?
No, what is that? That's a rattle.
Pacifier?
It's my baby rattle.
No way.
Yep.
So when little Noah was a little toddler.
I looked at the bottom of that rattle at first. I thought that was a bottle opener.
Yeah, it could be. It might
Oh.
Open up your beer, but
Well, I guess that was the baby's first beer.
baby's first beer, yes.
Just what happens when it's like, how have I not lost that in, 69 or 70 years? But
That's pretty cool.
it's still there.
That's pretty cool.
I couldn't find my steel wool this afternoon, but I still know where my baby rattle is.
Not bad. That's pretty
You
cool.
got your blankie yet too?
Just gonna say you got your binky.
As long as he doesn't have his diaper, we're okay.
Yeah.
Well, that'll happen later.
Another 10 years, you may need it.
Yeah, but I guess as you age, you might go to diapers anyway. So.
Yeah, when I get back into diapers, I'll bring my rattle out.
Oh man.
All
Well,
right.
certainly a fun meeting, guys. Thoroughly
Thanks for doing it, John.
My
just
pleasure.
delete the last 10 minutes off of the video that you're making.
Yeah, you have to edit that out, I guess.
I've heard worse. But well, you guys enjoy the rest of your week. Have a great weekend, and I'll send a email probably this Sunday. We'll probably shoot for Thursday, like I said, for the offbeat meeting. All right, guys.
All right.
Thanks, John.
Thanks.
Great seeing y'all.
Take care, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.